A lot of people who know me know one thing. I do not like black wheels all that much. Now, these are gunmetal, not black, but I'm still going to make a point here before we get going. I used to like black wheels a lot, but that was also back when I liked ketchup on my steak. And as I grew up, I kind of grew out of that and realized that it just really wasn't exactly the most sophisticated thing. There's quite a few problems with black wheels. One of them is that you spend all this money, you get a wheel, it's got like a cool design, it complements your car, and then you get it in a color that basically disappears in almost all lighting situations. Why? I don't get it. A lot of people say they don't want the wheels to detract from the car, but wheels are a part of the car. They are a styling element, and you want them to complement and add to the rest of the car, not be these big circular voids hanging out at all four corners. It's just, why? The other thing is kind of more of a practical one. You've got matte blackish rubber wrapped around your gloss black wheels. The net result of that is your tires can never look as black. Your tires just kind of look dirty all the time unless you constantly keep them tire shined up and glossy, and I'm not a fan of any of that. I will make the exception for like black cop steelies. Those can look good in most situations, but almost all the time I would take literally any color wheel but black. White, gunmetal, I do love gunmetal, raw aluminum, silver, especially like a hyper silver sort of color. Normally I'd be absolutely in love with these gunmetal wheels here, but on a dark car, it's just a bit too much dark. And in most lighting conditions, these just look black anyway, and I look like a hypocrite. Though, I will say this, the gunmetal, lighter color than the sidewalls. How about that? So, what I'm going to try and do today is turn these silver. Hopefully not using paint. I would like to try walnut blasting these wheels using some fairly cheap stuff from Harbor Freight. So, let's get these wheels off and get at it. Unfortunately, my back is hurt, so I'm not going to be able to do the whole lifting and undoing wheels thing on my own, so we'll get 100% wife involved here and see what happens. Now I have to try and get up off the ground. Ugh. The other reason that I would like for these to be silver is because they have quite a bit of curb rash damage, and having curb rash damage fixed is expensive, and the silver really stands out a lot against the darker gray of the rest of the wheel. But if the whole wheel is silver, this won't stand out as much. Smart. Oh, and for those of you wondering, these are TSW Bathursts. They're like a rotary forged wheel, which is like kind of forged but not. Pretty good looking wheel, honestly, and very cheap and very lightweight. I appreciate them a lot. So what we're dealing with here, I don't have a blasting cabinet, so this is just happening outdoors, which is one of the reasons that I went with walnut shells over anything else. We've got walnut shell, soft or fine 24 grit blasting media. I'm kind of wondering if I should have gone for the coarse stuff. I'm not sure, but the idea here is that this should be able to remove the paint off of aluminum without surfacing the aluminum finish and imposing a texture on it. I've got my $100 compressor over there with a hose from Harbor Freight. I actually really like this hose. It's quite soft and pliable. I've got a dryer in line with my 34 ounce blast gun. I gave it a quick test blast and already don't kind of love the Venturi style here. I kind of think a gravity feed would have worked a little better, but we'll see how it does. I gave it a test on the jug from the Yamaha, trying to remove some of the coking and clean the surfaces there, and it did all right, but it took a disturbingly long time, which makes me worry that this isn't really going to do a super great job of getting the paint off of the wheel. But, well, unfortunately, this might just be a nope right out of the gate. And I was kind of afraid of that because of how well bonded the paint is to these aluminum wheels. It's extremely slow going. The finish is ugly, and it does end up slightly texturing the aluminum. The finish is just really, really ugly. So I think that prepping these for rattle can is probably going to be the way to go. But look at how slow this actually is. The mess is also substantial, so I think that's this thing is going to be great for like cleaning carbon off of stuff, cleaning things that are dirty. This definitely has a lot of uses. but stripping paint off of factory finished aluminum wheels just doesn't seem like one of them. So I'm probably going to go the same route I went with my Miata and get some Duplicolor wheel coating, and we're going to go with that. Duplicolor high performance wheel coating. It's acrylic enamel, pretty cheap, like $8 a can. I think I'm probably going to need 2 cans of color, maybe 3 cans of color, and probably 2 cans of clear to do all 4 wheels. Though the coverage is amazing. That was one fairly light coat, no drips or runs or anything. As you can see, coverage, you know, I aimed for dusting, but actually it changed the color a lot more than I expected. And man, I love the way that looks. Look at how much the shape, like the curvature of the spokes, pops with the silver. It's so good. And that's what silver is really good at. Silver paint really wasn't a thing until the 90s. And then it exploded because it was the color of the future. I mean, as you can tell by my super futuristic Honda in there, because it would show off all of the surface finishing, and especially as dyes got better and they were able to make more complex shapes out of metal, the silvers and the, well, metallics in general were really able to show off all of those complex curves and sharp creases in really stark relief, whereas, you know, like the lines on this just kind of blend together a little bit, especially there in the front. You can barely even see. And look at all of my weeds. I'm cultivating a farm around here, it seems like. Gosh, that just looks so good. So I think 3, maybe 4 coats, that's pretty good. And I'm gonna let that dwell for about 5 minutes and then hit it with a couple thick coats of clear. I'm gonna try and hit it while it's still tacky so it'll still adhere, and I'm gonna try and get some real wet coats. The problem here is that it's like 90 degrees and humid, which isn't really ideal for painting, so this might go completely wrong as it dries, but I guess we will find out. Here's the other thing about black wheels, and here's how you can tell for sure when a trend is completely played out. A trend like black wheels is played out officially when you can buy it new as an option on a Dodge Journey. That's it. That's how you know it's over. When Journeys and Equinoxes are coming with black wheel nightmare packages or dark whatever stupid aggro names they come up with to try and make these mommy mobiles sporty, like, just own it, dude. You're driving a slightly lifted minivan. It's fine. Just own it. Stop trying to make it a freaking sports car. I mean, if you're actually going to make a sports car and like rear-wheel drive LS swap an Equinox and lower it and put wide wheels on it and like make it turn laps, that would be dope. But your stock 3.6 that weighs 1,000,000 pounds, no. Please stop this. It's Mary Barra, please. It's not necessary. Well, wheel number 2 is well on its way. Wheel number 1 is drying. I'm probably gonna give it a day and a half or 2 days to finish drying, and I just slapped 3 mosquitoes off my left arm. Thank you. I hate it. And my back also hates all of this bending over, even though I'm not lifting anything. So that's a jolly good time. out of paint. Go figure. Beep boop, target acquired. By the way, if you guys want to buy some of this, there's affiliate links in the description. If you buy it from those links, I actually get a kickback, which is pretty great. Enough people have used the Amazon links, I might actually be able to get something pretty fun here for an upcoming episode. So that'll be neat, a little bit of a bonus thing. You don't even have to buy this in particular. If you just use that link, go somewhere else on Amazon and buy something else, I think I still get a affiliate bonus for that. So consume product and support YouTubers. Quick note, wear a mask when you're doing this. I even bought one and I forgot to wear it. There's some pretty nasty stuff in spray paint, really. You just really want to avoid breathing that as much as possible. Also, your boogers are real weird afterwards. But again, we have results. The hardest part here by far is getting adequate coverage on the side of the spokes. It's really hard when the wheel's just kind of sitting on the ground flat like this, and sometimes where I went a little bit too aggressive, I got some weird kind of modeling in the paint, but I don't think it'll be all that visible when it's on the car. It's just real hard to get good coverage way down in there. A little bit unfortunate, but I think it looks all right. The gloss is decent. Yeah, you know, it's not like a super perfect shimmer or anything, but it's not incredibly dull. I'm pretty happy with it. My other two wheels already sat up and hardened, and this is the only time I've had a single stage, or not a single stage, but a single part spray clear actually harden up properly. So I'm going to give these two wheels all night and the better part of tomorrow morning to harden up, and we'll see if they're good to throw back on the car. Hopefully I can get this done before Hoovie's birthday party tomorrow, and I can drive this car there. I'm not sure why it matters, but hey, it's a deadline. Deadlines make everything more exciting. If we don't get this done in time, we're going to lose the shop or something. I have a very important announcement to make. Wheels, they are dry. Unfortunately, they were not dry in time for me to go to Hoovie's birthday party, but wow, that did dry nice and hard. Very nice. I am a big fan. So what's neat is this paint is an acrylic enamel instead of an acrylic lacquer. The acrylic lacquer is what the Duplicolor Perfect Match like body paint is, and I've always had terrible luck with that in the past, but this stuff, I mean, it sets up dang near instantly and absolutely hard as a rock. If you remember a long time ago, I actually 3D printed some hub-centric rings, and I replaced those in the front with some actual manufactured ones, but left the 3D printed ones on the rear, and honestly it held up pretty okay. What's interesting is the actual manufactured ones that I bought on eBay have kind of melted a little bit deformed, but as long as the wheel still fits tightly on them, I think we're good. Something else that's really fun, take a look at that sway bar bushing. You can see, it's real hard on the camera, but you can actually see straight through that bushing. It is definitely not properly locating the bar there, so some new sway bar bushing should make this thing handle a lot nicer. So I might get those on the way from FCP Euro. That'll be a great way to tighten up the handling for not much money on this car. Well, that looks about a million times better. I'm pretty pleased with this in general. I'm probably gonna give the paint some time to set up, and then I'll probably do a ceramic coating on it, just so that it's a bit easier to clean, because, you know, brake dust and whatnot, pretty annoying to deal with. In the meantime, it is 98 degrees out here. I am soaking wet already, so I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.